I contacted the guy to try to figure out what the heck, because I couldn't make heads or tails out of his pedigree. It said his father went back to something, but there was no pictures. I couldn't see exactly where the black came from in it. And back then, the guy didn't know me from Adam, so he's like, yeah, he's a great dog. His dad was black. So I just left it at that. And I had bought the dog and I bred her as an outcross. Back then, I started doing outcrosses because I was trying to clean up the breathing. Yeah, that's something
Yeah, I
that's
remember we
probably
talked about that. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
primarily most of my breedings the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, I had already outcrossed to a little bit of this other blood that's totally unrelated called the Man of War blood.
Mm-hmm.
There was a real well-known working dog called Vader Red. Back then, I remember even seeing it myself and thinking, that just looks like a gigantic red pit bull, which it's kind of a mystery as to what exactly the bloodline, where it came from. They're out of Louisiana. There was this uh, a wrestling coach called Doc. Pete, his name was Pete, but they called him Doc. And yeah, that line of dogs, they either come in white or heavy colored brindle or red. And they're known to be pretty gamey and pretty gritty, super excellent catch dogs. And most of them that I saw had just wonderful temperaments with kids and people. But they could do anything. And there was that dog Vader Red, that did a lot of stuff. And there were a lot of people in the performance dogs bred to him because he was a good working dog. Well,
Mm-hmm.
anyway, that was the first outcross I did. I had a friend in Mississippi. Uh, he's long been dead now, Jack Robinson. And Jack Robinson started with those Man of War dogs. So he was used to having solid brindle dogs next to white dogs and even red dogs. And we had I had a huge dog and he had the uncle to my dog. So we kind of talked a little bit because of that. And he'd taken that uncle of my dog, which was 3/4 Johnson, 1/4 Painter, this big,
Mm-hmm.
huge dog called Okie, and he started breeding it to all those Man of War females. And it produced these freaking monster dogs, huge. He produced this dog called Bigfoot that was like 135 pounds
Wow.
and had crazy thick. He was only like 25 inches tall.
Yeah.
He had crazy bone. Like I'd never seen bone on an American Bulldog like that. And he had a weird head, kind of a Mastiff head that had a little bump on his muzzle, like a little hump.
Yeah.
Which I'd seen that before. And I'd gone down there and seen him because I bred to him. And he was great with people, super stable. But he had some absolute, like if any dog challenged him or did anything, Jack used to tell me, yeah, at 6 months he got into it with some of the adults in here and beat him up.
Yeah.
Really, at 6 months, he goes, yeah, he just overpowered him. He's so big, and he had this attitude. He was like absolute, not a punk, not going to take anything.
Yeah.
So I had that. So I had those genes in my dogs, and when I did it, the dog that I used was a dog called Vindicator, and Vindicator was a dog. Jack had gotten a female from me off that big male I had. She was humongous, like 115 pounds. And he bred it to Bigfoot and produced this dog called Vindicator, which I bred him once or twice for myself and used him in my program. Not looking back, I should have used him a lot more. He was a really good dog. So I had the genes for the heavy color through Man of War. And so when I bought this Dinah, the black and white female, down the road, as the two outcrosses made their way into my pedigrees, I occasionally get a dog with a lot of color. I bred Dinah to my bully stud, a dog called Go Ballistic, who was a piebald dog with heavy red patches. And it produced this male. It was the only male in the litter. And he looked kind of standard, but he had a much thicker muzzle, heavier muzzle. And his name was Taz. And I used to call it Tuxedo. He looked like he had a tuxedo on. He had white feet, white neck, heavy black on his head, but he had a white muzzle. And so that dog turned out to be great. When he was like 9 months old, my friend and I loaded up him, my dog Shrek, and this dog I produced called Bear, who was older. We went to another friend of mine's house that did, it wasn't a hog trial or anything, but back then it was common for hog hunters to get together and uh, have a huge pen and see whose dog will catch and kind of get their dogs taught about wild hogs before they go out and hunt with them.